Tape Deck Media.
See you at the party, Richter!
Hello, and welcome to See You at the Party, Richter. God damn it. Right off the bat.
Richter. Alan Richter.
The one I sent you was like the seventh take, by the way.
You were doing the same thing?
I don't fucking know why. Yeah. Hello, and welcome to See You at the Potty, Richter. My name is Chris Chapman. I'll be joined today, as always, with my co-hosts Aaron Frescus and Joseph Beck Castro. Today, we are going to be taking a look at Arnold's 2013 action comedy thing, The Last Stand. We are going to talk a little bit about the movie's production, and then we're going to move into some promotional videos. Just a heads up, during the promotional videos, a certain member of the podcast had health issues that rhyme with schmieria.
That's not true at all. That's why it's funny.
God damn it.
What?
You're killing me.
No, you can keep going. What we're just
all right.
Yeah, sure, it's diarrhea. It's diarrhea because that's what's funniest. If there's a funnier way for him to not be in the episode, we would say it. But
I know what's funnier. It's explosive diarrhea.
There you go.
Anyway, a certain member of the podcast is not going to be with us during the promotional video section, but we'll make up for it. We'll be extra entertaining, probably. Or we'll talk about diarrhea some more. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's. I'm going to hand it over to Aaron now, who's going to tell us some more stuff about production.
So yeah, as I mentioned, the film was financed by Lionsgate with a budget of $45 million. Filming began on October 17, 2011 in New Mexico and Nevada, with Belen, New Mexico standing in for the fictional town of Somerton, Arizona. And I guess there really is a Somerton in Arizona, but it's spelled differently. It's only one M, where this one has two. And it's actually about 20 miles from the border. So the downtown Las Vegas scenes were actually shot in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the Vegas Strip was added in during post-production. Filming wrapped in February 2nd, 2012, and there's some random mention of shooting briefly being interrupted on December 17, 2011 on Wikipedia, but it doesn't say why, and there's no reference site for it, so I'm not even sure what happened or if it actually did happen, so whatever. Anyway, film premiered January... Yeah, I don't know. There's some random reference, like filming was interrupted on December. It gives a specific date too, but there's no reference for it. There's no reference for it. So, and this was getting I was like, how much do I care? I don't. Okay.
Okay.
So, I'm sure if you looked it up, you might get something. But if you do look it up, let me know.
Yeah.
The film premiered January 12, 2013. The film premiered January 12th. I'm turning Irish again. The film premiered January 12th, 2013 in Dallas, Texas for some reason, with its Hollywood premiere at the Grauman's Chinese Theater on January 14th, and it being released nationwide on January 18th, 2013. I would ask why it premiered in Dallas, Texas, but whatever.
Yeah,
Anyway, it opened number 9 at the box office that weekend, taking in about $6.3 million, which obviously isn't the best.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron, what did it beat out that weekend? Glad you asked, guys. Okay, because I have the top 10 right here. Number 1 movie of the week was a movie called Mama, the horror movie that Erica refuses to watch to this day because one of her biggest fears is feral children. I swear to God.
Yeah, me too, but if you just remove the feral part.
With children. Okay.
just children, yeah.
And I think because of her being so scared from watching The Ring, why are you scared of feral children?
From a supernatural episode.
Okay. That's it? Not The Ring or anything?
No, she's not feral. She's just whatever.
I guess.
No,
okay.
no. It's a supernatural episode. It started off as like a normal house haunting, and then he did something weird with salt that's like supposed to get rid of evil spirits, and she didn't fucking go away. And I was like, oh shit, that kid's real? And then like the whole time I was like, what the fuck? This kid's been living in the walls of his family's house. It wasn't a haunting, it was real. Like, no, thank you.
She watched this.
Done.
She watched this when we were first dating, and she was so scared of it that she called me to come over while she finished it.
During the day.
During the day.
Yeah. Because it was like your normal, like when you're a kid, like people tell you like scary stories stories and stuff. And it was the normal scary shit stories that were like, oh, like I leaned over to like pet my dog, like off the side of my bed or whatever.
And then it was like
your dog was licking your hand or whatever. And like later I was like, oh hell no. Oh hell no. No thank you. No thank you. I won't lean over and pet the dog even if I know it's the dog. No thank you. Will not touch that shit with 10-foot pole.
That was it. I was going to call you in on a few more things, but you can. I mean, I guess you can hang out for a second if you want. But until I get to your next thing. Anyway, so yeah, number 1 was Mama. Have you guys seen that?
No, I'm not watching that.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, it's about feral kids and a ghost, I think. Anyway, number 2 is Zero Dark 30, which I recently watched and is way more propagandy than I remember it being when I first watched it. Which, whatever, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, man, I am totally rooting for them to just waterboard the fuck out of these guys. They are doing a great job of like selling it, but not really. I was like, holy shit, fuck these guys. Like I don't know. It's conflicted, but it's like not really. I don't know. Anyway, number 3 was Silver Linings Playbook, which I also recently watched and is pretty darn good, minus the director being a complete bag of crap. But the movie's still good. Also, I know this makes. I know this sounds like I'm making excuses for The Last Stand, but this was like the worst time for this movie to come out because, as we'll find out in a minute, they usually announce the Academy Award nominations near the end of January. So this is around the time that all the movie studios are releasing their Oscar contenders. And there is a shitload of them surrounding the release of this movie. So, which brings us to our number 4 movie, which stars 2 Oscar winners, Sean Penn and Emma Stone, and deals with one man's struggle to control his private life while dealing with the repercussions of his career as the leader of the mafia. That's right. I'm talking about Gangster Squad, which was basically the LA Noire video game come to life, but like a really bad version of it. I know that LA Noire is basically LA Confidential. Again, when I said earlier that instead of the director's movie I was watching, I watched a Gangster Squad because I was like, wait, if I'm going to shit on this movie, I've watched it before, but I don't remember why I didn't like it. And it wasn't I didn't like it. It's just like, it's Gangster Squad's like if LA Confidential was written by David S. Goyer. So, which Chris probably gets, but it's not a very good writer. But I watched this movie sober the first time, and I couldn't remember anything about it, except that I didn't like it, which was disappointing because I really like movies that are about this era, like that noir genre, which seems like it's extremely hard to do well. And LA Confidential is fuck, because we watched that. I watched it twice in the last couple of days because I watched it, and then I had Erica watch it. And I was like, this movie's fucking good.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's really good because it's on Netflix, and I was like, damn. This movie's really good, especially you know what? I would say watch Gangster Squad, but I actually had to rent it to watch it. Which was it was $3, but it's entertaining-ish. Erica's like, nope. it's fine. Anyway, number 5 is Broken City, which I feel like I should remember because it stars Russell Crowe and Marky Mark, which I just like calling him Marky Mark because I know he hates it. But I got nothing. Like, do you guys remember this movie?
No, that doesn't sound familiar at all.
Okay, before you look it up real quick, IMDb's description: in a city rife with injustice, ex-cop Billy Taggart seeks redemption and revenge after being double-crossed by its more powerful figure, Mayor Nicholas Hostetler. And is there any world in which the ex-cop isn't Mark Wahlberg? Like, do you think, like, if we're looking at the credits, that Russell Crowe's the ex-cop and Mark Wahlberg is the the fucking mayor? Hey, I'm the mayor here,
can't be the fucking mayor.
Just the world's most aggressive mayor.
Finishes every speech. Say hello to your mother for me.
Yes. Anyway, number 6 was The Haunted House, which is one of those parody movies starring Marlon Wayans that help kill those type of movies.
Oh, yeah. That's the Paranormal Activity parody, right?
Probably. I don't know. I didn't watch it. But, number 7 gets us back to the Oscar contenders with Django Unchained, and I'm super big on Tarantino. Like, not super big on Tarantino because he seems like a d-bag, but the guy makes a fucking good movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yes,
yeah, like that movie's good. I have not seen the one after that.
Once Upon a Time in
Hateful
Hollywood.
No. I haven't seen that one either. Hateful Eight. Yes, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, Hateful Eight's the only one I haven't seen, and it's on Netflix. I don't
Hateful
know why
Eight?
I haven't watched it.
Pretty decent. It's probably a little too long. Like, it's.
Did you watch? There's 2 versions of it on there.
Oh no, I just watched whichever one came out in the theater. That's all.
Okay.
But it's it's a Western like Django Unchained, but they drag it out longer.
Is it not as like?
No, it's not as fast paced. It's way more like tension. It's like one of those movies that's like all in one place, and it's just like the tension building up the whole time.
Okay, I don't want to know too much more.
No,
I will watch it
it
eventually.
Yeah, I mean,
good.
Django Chain is a Western, but really it's just revenge porn.
Yeah,
It's pretty good revenge porn.
Yeah,
that shit gets me every time.
Every single person in there.
You know how many times I've watched fucking Inglourious Basterds?
Yeah.
And not because I'm a Jew, but like that movie's just fucking good.
Yeah.
And bringing up Hitler for the third time today. Fuck that guy.
He's certainly no Jimmy
kind of a
Carter.
piece of shit. Yeah. Hey.
With Django and Chain, just like which one do you say is a better movie out of like Django and Chain or
Django?
Or, then no, sorry, then
Inglourious.
Yeah.
Inglourious Basterds is easily my favorite Tarantino.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta watch it again. Okay,
It's really fucking good.
So.
Okay, like just because Leonardo DiCaprio does a great job in Django and Chain.
He does. Yeah,
he does a really good racist.
he plays a real good piece of shit.
That guy does everything. So anyway, the Oscar bait continues with number 8, Les Miserables, Les Miserables, which I didn't watch, but I'm sure I wouldn't like because I do not like musicals, and that seems like a downer of a fucking musical.
Yeah, that seems like a god awful time.
Yeah, and I know huge jacked man is like a musical theater nerd or whatever. He just happened to get the role of Wolverine and got all jacked, but I don't want to see him in a musical.
Although I heard it's hilarious trying to listen to Russell Crowe singing. I heard that was really like he does terrible in that movie.
Aren't they both Australian and they're doing a musical that takes place
in
France?
French. Yeah.
So about people that are
is there actually any French people in there?
Less miserable than other people?
I don't know.
I'm curious if it's actually as bad as Phantom of the Opera. Have you seen both?
Yeah.
Which one's worse? Just like depressing and more like okay.
I mean, it can't be as depressing as fucking Cats because wow.
I heard that movie just bad. Or sorry, that musical is just. Did you watch?
I don't know.
Did you watch
it's not depressing. It is super hyper great. There's just no storyline.
God no.
I mean, I'm not talking about the play. I'm talking about the movie.
Yeah, he's talking about the movie.
I didn't watch
Yeah,
it.
she doesn't.
I
don't
really think it's depressing either, but it's fucking terrible.
Both of them said it's horrible.
I mean, it's depressing how terrible of a movie
Sure,
it is.
it's depressing that many people could try that hard and it would be that bad.
Yeah.
I guess
it comes around a little bit to just like, holy fuck, this is so bad.
Yeah.
It's almost good, but not quite The Room, like that type of bad. Just like.
Not good bad.
It's like a train wreck. Like you can't turn your eyes away.
and it never stops being unsettling.
Yeah.
Like
really?
Yeah, have you seen
No,
I'm not... the trailer or whatever? All the cat people?
Yeah.
It never gets you never get any more comfortable with the way they look. They look horrible. They look like god-awful abominations the whole time. It's really terrible.
They do.
So wait, have you guys seen Phantom of the Opera? Because I'm like,
no, I haven't seen it.
That shit is boring as fuck.
Yeah, I believe you.
Oh man, you should see the look on Erica's face right now.
Sorry. So I ended up buying her tickets for Phantom of the Opera for the first time we went to New York. And I regretted the fuck out of that. Like, I asked a musical loving friend of ours about which Broadway musical would be the best to see, and when she figured out that I didn't like musicals, she suggested Chicago because it's like way more fast paced and it's actually a fun story. And she's like, Phantom of the Opera, if you don't like musicals, can be boring. Mm-hmm. But I went with Phantom of the Opera because I'd heard Eric, like she'd been talking about it, I heard her like praise it or whatever, and so I was like, whatever. Like she's the one that wants to go watch stuff. That was the longest 6 hours of my life. Like so much fucking singing.
Is it actually 6 hours long?
The best part is we took your dad.
Oh yes, that was when my dad came with us. I'm sure he was expecting me less. The best part of it was that we were Broadway, and these people are paying. I think the tickets were like $200 each. We're on like the mezzanine, so it's like the the best-ish view you can get. It's like the one level up because the view on the floor can kind of suck, or the whatever can kind of suck. Anyway, it's my dad, me, and then Erica. And then there's a lady sitting next to Erica. Erica's singing with the people, and it didn't bug me because I was like bored, and I was like whatever, just like sitting there like, oh my god. But I just kind of like looking around because I was bored, and the lady next to Erica is like death staring at her because she won't shut the fuck up. Erica's drunk, by the way. We went out drinking before this, drunk, and I was like I'm like, hey, nope, no, shh. And she's like, what? I'm like, and I think I like whispered to her, like, you got to stop. No, don't sing anymore. And she stopped. She didn't put up a fight with it or anything. And then I think once,
I felt so bad.
Yeah, then I think once the intermission, I was like, dude, that lady was not having it. She was like giving you death stares. Like you were like, there was anyone with the phone around. We were like maybe like 5 minutes away from like being like recorded, like where she's just going off on you, like yelling at you.
Musicals are not concerts.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But it was
they're concerts for nerds. So they're not
they're
fun.
concerts for nerds.
So they're not fun.
Yeah. But like it was the worst. We ended up watching Chicago when we were there last time, like when we went with Joe a couple years ago. That was actually really fun. Like it's have you seen Chicago?
I've never seen it. I mean, I've heard it's good, but
it's the songs, it's also jazz music instead of what?
Hamilton was good.
Yeah, Hamilton was actually good too. We watched that in Chicago. We went to Chicago and watched Hamilton
On Broadway
in Broadway in Chicago.
And that guy got promoted.
Yeah, and the guy that's was in the Chicago Hamilton, which I'm not sure if it was touring. I think they each have their own, like, in different cities, but he got promoted or whatever, and he's actually the New York guy now.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, good for him.
Cool.
Yeah, he was good. He did you watch that on Disney Plus or anything?
Yeah, we watched Hamilton when it came out on Disney Plus.
That guy is so. I didn't realize
way better than what's his fuck.
Oh, so much better. Like he doesn't seem fucking like a awkward theater nerd.
Yeah,
singing like he's very the rapping because it is rapping.
Yeah,
he's actually good at the rapping part of it. He was like to where you're like, oh fuck yeah, like. It didn't seem like so forced awkward. Like when I saw Lin-Manuel Miranda doing it, I was like, oh, he is horrible. I'd only seen that one guy do it. And then Eric was watching like, he is not good at this. Oh my God, that guy is so much better. But yeah, he was like, I don't know. He was really like good at the rapping parts of it, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so number 9 was The Last Stand, which like I said, brought in 6.3 million compared to the number 1 movie, Mama, 28.4.
Jeez.
And then there was number 10, which was the first Hobbit movie, which disappointed Joe, but for different reasons, that pretty much everyone else was disappointed by it, which I think we already discussed, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. But just real quick, for those who haven't listened, when I watched the first Lord of the Rings movie, I was like, oh, they're about to get rid of that ring, and then it just ends. Like, I thought they were gonna like go up the mountain and get rid of it. I didn't realize it was a trilogy. And then same thing with The Hobbit. I didn't realize it was a trilogy, and then like it just kind of like ends. And like, what the fuck? Just
to get to the fucking dragon too, right? Is not the first? No, not even close.
The first one ends with them escaping the elves. I think like they go down the river in the barrels.
I
think
I don't understand.
Those movies were dog shit.
I don't only watch the first one.
Absolute dog. That should have been one fucking movie.
I do not remember those movies at all.
Yeah.
Well, you're lucky.
But yeah. So anyway, we're almost done to swear. But half of the top 10 movies ended up being Oscar nominees, and there are even more if you look at the top 20 because you've got on top of that Lincoln, Life of Pi, The Impossible, Argo, and Wreck-It Ralph.
Jesus.
So 10 out of the top 20 movies were Oscar contenders.
Yeah.
And I feel like this movie didn't really stand too much of a chance when it was released.
Yeah.
The Last Stand.
Sorry, when was it released again? What was
January 12th?
Damn.
Oh, so a lot of the other movies that were still up there were released the year before, technically, so they can be.
Yeah. They would have been released the year before, and then they would probably have all been re-released because.
Well, no, like studios usually release their movies closer to the end of the year, like the ones that they want to compete for Oscars. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
You can look at the dates
but they do have to be done before January, is what I'm saying. They have to have played in the theater before. The end of
Yes.
the
So
year
all of
to be
these,
eligible.
most of these, because I started looking at the dates, I was like, okay. But yeah, most of these were first run. I'm not sure how many were re-released, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a bad time.
Yeah,
like
that is terrible.
I don't understand why you wouldn't push it back a month into February, because isn't that when like there's the least amount of competition at the box office or something like that, or like when the studios usually dump their bad movies? I'm pretty sure.
Generally, like that's generally like
Maybe they were trying to compete for an Oscar. But I don't get it. Like, it's not a bad movie by any means. Like, I'm not saying that. I rewatched it with Erica a couple weeks ago, like I said, and it's super fun.
I mean, I think it's a bad movie. It's fun, but
It's not horror. It's entertaining. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
it's entertaining, but
but
we'll
they
get
opened
into
it up
that.
with 7 of the 9 Best Picture nominees.
Yeah,
while
no, that's
while
a
they were
fucking
playing
mistake.
Yeah, while they were playing in the theater still. Like, I'm actually curious if they put more stake into Arnold's return than the demand or whatever called for it. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, it fell out of the top 10 the following week. It ended up grossing $12.1 million in North America, which is crazy because it made half of its North American box office gross its opening weekend.
Jesus.
But it ended up grossing $48.3 million worldwide, which isn't too great on a production budget of $45 million. But especially when you can figure in the marketing. But what is it? It's half? Or the market, you double the budget or something like that?
Yeah, double the budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can tell you it's a lot better than another movie named The Last Stand.
What was the other movie?
X-Men 3.
Oh, yes. That was another problem with researching stuff. I kept getting, I had to make sure to specify the year because I kept getting hits for that when I was looking for stuff. So, according to an IMDb trivia tidbit, the film was a box office disappointment, obviously, but turned a profit from DVD and Blu-ray sales, which who knows if that's true because it could have been added by IMDb or to IMDb by Arnold, for all we know. Like, who fucking knows? I did do a quick search of its home video sales, though, and I'm not sure if these numbers are completely accurate or up to date. But according to the numbers.com, its total estimated domestic video sales were 11 million. So depending on marketing costs, which, like we said, it's usually about the production budget.
Yeah.
Those are, I don't know.
That's
those are just the domestic sales, though. So maybe it pulled another 30 to 40 million in overseas like DVD sales. It could happen, right?
I doubt it.
Well, I mean, you're also you get like it's on HBO now, so HBO probably pays money to them to put it on.
Yeah,
there.
like sales
True.
will continue to trickle in, but the DVD market also isn't what it used to be. So
that's true. So maybe it's like through streaming and whatnot too, because it was like one of the top movies for a little while on Netflix. So yeah. Anyway, and I know it doesn't always equate box office, but the film had some pretty decent critic reviews. It was even scored a fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes with 61%. By the way, does anyone know where that falls off in terms of Rotten?
I think it's 60, isn't it?
Yes.
I actually
looked.
Oh,
I wasn't sure when I wrote that, but then I looked it up. Yeah, it's 60. So it barely pulled it off.
It barely got through.
Yeah. But whatever.
Tommy Boyed it,
Is that what Tommy Boy did
It's
too?
like, well, I mean,
he passed with a D minus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, but it seems like the critics sort of liked it for the most part. The like quote unquote positive ones seem to share the same kind of review, which is along the lines of it may not be a masterpiece, but it's a Schwarzenegger movie. It's B movie-ish, but it's fun regardless. And with like Richard Roper's review pretty much summing it up nicely, which says, quote, if you've got violent movie fatigue and you're too exhausted from real life carnage on the news to enjoy an R-rated bloodfest in which a number of kills are executed as deliberately funny visual punchlines, you do not want to go anywhere near this film. But if you're a fan of stylish, relentlessly loud shootouts, questionable plot developments to be damned, this is your ticket weekend escapism. This is your ticket to weekend escapism. And I don't know. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's it. That's it for the production stuff. How about we check out a little bit of promotional material?
Yeah.
So, by the way, in addition to the promo material, I also have a few behind-the-scenes clips I wanted to check out, which we'll start off with. So, first off, we're going to check out a tiny part of one of the behind-the-scenes featurettes about a car chase, like the car chase scene through the cornfield at the end, basically showing how they did it.
Nice.
Just a quick. It's a long clip, so we're not going to watch the whole thing. Like it's like 10 minutes long. So. Or I guess that's not a clip, it's a long featurette. But anyway, they were given, I think, like 5 different versions of each car, which were then modified to fit whatever they needed it to do. But yeah, they basically rented out this cornfield from someone farmer, probably. I don't know why anyone.
Some farmer they definitely didn't shoot and leave for dead in his house.
Yeah. And they had a certain amount of time time and space to finish the scene. So because of the limited space that they had, because they can't really like replant stuff, so they basically had to map out exactly where they were going to be, like what they were going to do in the cornfield, so that they didn't come upon any places that they'd already used because it'd already be flat.
Wow. They had to plan out every square foot of like the action scene.
Basically. I can't remember. I'm sure they say... That's Wally in the background, by the way, whining because the cat won't give him attention. But I'm sure they do say how
Crying
much...
for all the wasted corn.
Yeah, exactly. He loves him some corn. I'm sure they do say exactly how much, like the square footage, but I don't remember. It's probably... What are cornfields? It's got to be at least an acre, right? I would assume. I don't even know how big an acre is.
It's got to be... No, it's got to be more than an acre. Like any modern cornfield worth any money has to be huge, I think.
I realized a while ago, but it was definitely when I was in my late 30s that I don't know how big an acre is. I just know it's big. Like, ooh, I want.
I only have a vague idea. I only have a vague idea because I remember when we moved a few times as kids, and every house we ever looked at was like a quarter acre. So it's like 4 times the size of any one of our houses.
Okay,
is an acre.
So apparently. Probably close to what they have, close-ish to what they have now. That's probably like 3/4 acre. Anyway, for anybody that was curious about family stuff. But yeah, so there are a couple parts of this video that I found pretty interesting that I wanted to show you guys, or use guys. I guess no. Hey, you guy, I wanted to show you.
Hey, Joe can watch it in the bathroom.
The first one is actually the actual stunt of when Cortez pushes the lady FBI agent out of the car. And it's pretty cool the way they did that. So
we're gonna hold you guys tight the whole time, okay? Our primary concern is that we get from start to finish safely. The concern that comes up right after that is that we give the director exactly what he wants, not just from the design of the stunts themselves, but from the camera angles that he wants. Yesterday we had a great shot of Cortez coming around a corner and throwing Richards out of the car, and the way that we were able to pull that off, we towed the Corvette with Cortez driving, and had a platform on the side of the vehicle with a stunt girl staged on that platform. So as we come around the corner, the actor is able to reach over, open the door, shove the actress out onto the platform. She's safetied so that she can't get any further than the platform itself. And with that timing, the stunt girl takes her cue and goes rolling out all in one shot as we arm up and give the illusion that the actress is actually the one doing the entire bit. So trying to create the shot.
Okay, you can pause it.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, that looked pretty good.
Yeah,
like seamless. Definitely. I'm sure. Yeah. I'm it made me curious if you can actually see the head, like they showed it right there.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I like how much they relied on the practical effects for this movie.
Definitely.
But anyhow, the second thing I want to show from this clip is how they set up the cards for when they're actually driving through the cornfields. They obviously couldn't see anything because when they were driving through it, so they came up with a pretty interesting solution for it.
All the rigs we have done in this movie just to shoot the car scenes are amazing. I mean, I've never been in a car with someone up there driving the car. That was the first time I was like a little boy then. Oh my God, are you kidding me? He's gonna drive?
That's awesome.
We're gonna bring the speed down a little bit.
So there's basically a guy that's attached to because no one's talking right now. There's basically a guy that's attached. What is it?
It's basically like a little roll cage from it almost looks like if you cut all the wheels off of like a golf cart and then just stuck that on top of another car, except it's just a single seat.
Yeah.
And so
on top
there's there's wires going into the car beneath it. So one is the Camaro or whatever Arnold was driving. And one is the Corvette that Cortez was driving. Yeah.
We brought in those kind of automated driving systems that sit on top of the car, what we call the pod cars, sits on top of the car, and then a driver drives it from the top so he can see over the corn where he's going, and the actor can look like he's driving but doesn't need to actually do any driving.
Ready and action.
So it basically allows us to put the two actors in a very controlled environment, do contact with the vehicle, so there's crashing being done between the two of them, and the actors are right in the middle of the sequence, but The vehicles are both being driven by the stuntmen that are up on top in control of the vehicles completely. So it's a good, safe way to put our actors right in the middle of the action.
And as long as you don't see the car from the outside, it looks fantastic. And if you do need to see the car from the outside, then you put in a stunt driver or the actor drives the car.
It was just a lot of fun doing those things and a lot of fun doing all the action, all the stunts and all of this.
Shift, go.
I'm curious if they just told him like, hey, just don't move the wheel too much. Like,
Yeah.
because unless they know exactly where they're going, it's going to seem weird if they're. I mean, I guess you couldn't really tell if it's inside the car and it's just a bunch of corn everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And how much the camera is shaking, it's hard to even tell what he's doing on the wheel.
But it's a cool setup. Like, I love how they have both Arnold and his name's Eduardo Noriega in the actual cars. And I know they're not actually driving, but still, like,
Yeah.
it's a good way
cool,
to
'cause
like
that makes it look
they can
more-
actually like act instead of having to pay attention to what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They don't have to be half focused on the stunt.
Yeah, exactly.
They just get to act. And I bet you that makes it easier to like react to stuff too.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
Like
if
when the cars hit each
drivers-
other and
yeah,
stuff,
Yeah,
like-
for sure.
Yeah.
So this next one is from a different behind-the-scenes featurette that's all about the old-timey guns they used in the film, and mainly the Tommy gun and the Vickers Nazi killer chain gun that they have on the bus, which I guess was actually in use during World War I and II. Like the actual gun that's in the movie, they
really?
used in World War I and II.
That's like
yeah.
an actual antique?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like I think it. What was it? It said it was like they used it for like some crazy amount of time, and it didn't have any like misfires. I can't remember the
That's
gun.
crazy.
But yeah, it is the actual gun from then.
Wow.
But yeah, we're not
That's
going to watch
crazy.
anything about that. Instead, we're going to get a quick quote from the director, Ji-won Kim, that leads into a funny alternate take from the movie. And since both of us speak Korean, would you like to translate what the director is saying from us? I would, but my Korean's a little rusty.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay,
I
cool.
can do that.
Play it when you're
Glory
ready,
to the... Oh, sorry. He says, I thought it would be fun to show the famous weapons of the past in the modern age. And I thought the idea of pitting modern day weapons with the old weapons was fun too.
싸워서 그 무기로 옛날 무기로 그것도 제압한다라는 어떤 설정들이 무척 재밌었고 옛날 무기들
modern day weapons are stealthy, fast and accurate, but they don't have the hands-on satisfaction and energy of old weapons.
되게 정확하고 하지만은 옛날 무기가 갖고 있는 어떤 통쾌한 어떤 박력과 통쾌한 에너지와
Or the visual impact on screen.
있어서의 어떤 그런 그 직접적인 어떤 느낌들 이런 것들은 옛날 무기들이 더 재밌었고 그 옛날 무기를
I thought it was fun to use the old weapons to defeat opponents with modern ones, which is a good idea.
Yeah.
You think this is Conan the Barbarian?
I like that fucking guy. He was good.
Just the alternate take is funny to me.
Yeah.
Because that is Conan's sword.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
Your Korean has gotten really good. Like your Korean has gotten so good that you actually know what he's going to say before he says it.
Yeah, exactly. It just kind of flows now, so I can kind of anticipate what's coming. I don't know, the same way I can with English grammar.
Sorry, I was trying to think. I was like, English grammar. That sounds like a Nelly song.
What?
Oh, it's country grammar. I was like, wait a second. What was it?
Oh,
Mama, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, what? Is that a Nelly song? No, it's country. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, by the way, he's 100% right about the old weapons. Like they're so much like louder and flashier than the
absolutely.
newer guns. They look so cool.
yeah, they look so much more fun. Like all the bad guys just have the same assault rifle, and they all look. But like Luis Guzman is out there with a Tommy gun.
Yeah,
they've
Tommy
got that
gun.
gigantic revolver. They've got that Vicker gun that looks fucking awesome. They've got
she's Jamie Alexander has a sniper rifle, which whatever. But
Yeah, she
like
has a sniper
just
rifle.
those other three, like that Georgette, the Johnny Knoxville's what is it? It's the
revolver.
Yeah, it's the Dirty Harry gun. I think. I'm pretty sure. Maybe.
Is it?
I think so, but
I don't know.
I'm not completely sure. Anyway.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So-
Sorry. Also, I was just gonna say he was like the thing he said about like how it's more fun to have the good guys use old guns versus like the modern new guns
Yes.
of the bad guys. I just think that's like thematically that's good.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes
Yeah,
you
it like
that makes them the underdog.
Yes, it which I was thinking about today when I was driving around. I was thinking about, I'm like, you know what? I want to watch a movie where the underdog loses, and you're just like, oh, okay. Like, I know it's basically like a South Park episode of Bad News Bears, but yeah, but like an action movie where they just die. And you're just like, oh,
they all just die.
They're dead. Why do they died? Holy crap. Like Die Hard, but John McClane just gets shot in the head. Like,
just falls through an elevator shaft on accident. Breaks his neck. The whole movie just keeps playing out, and he's dying really painfully at the bottom of an elevator shaft.
Exactly. Again, it's like like Austin Powers, like, can anybody hear me down here at the bottom of the elevator shaft?
I'm very badly burned.
Please do not turn on the elevator. I'm down at the bottom. It will crush me.
I don't want to get Emilio Estevez. All right.
This next one is the last like behind the scenes featurette because there's three different parts, which is pretty much just Jamie Alexander and Johnny Knoxville recording stuff from their phones, like on set.
Oh.
And Johnny Knoxville is mostly recording scenes he was part of, like the like you can see this picture right here. The guy with the beanie on is the guy that
the bandolier.
Yeah, the flare gun guy. Yeah. So he's recording.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the guy that he hits with the flare gun with the bandolier because he explodes, right? Doesn't he explode? I'm pretty sure he explodes.
Like the bullets start going off, and then at the end it completely explodes.
Yeah, so it's
like he blows up.
Which I watched this featurette before watching the movie again, like when we watched it for the first time, and I was like, "Oh, that doesn't look too great." But then you watch the movie, you're like, "Holy shit, that was all right!" Because he obviously doesn't explode when they're doing it; it's just a bunch of sparks.
Yeah.
But no, they did it for real. He actually exploded in.
That guy's dead.
Yeah, he actually exploded in the behind the scenes thing. Watch it. But yeah, so anyway, Jamie Alexander is kind of just walking around talking to whoever she comes across. And like I said before, she just seems like a lovely person, like all these interviews. But yeah, she runs into Peter Stormare, and holy crap, let's see what his voice actually sounds like. So go ahead.
Ooh. All right.
That's sort of your cue issue.
That lens cap is on. That's smart. So this is Peter Stormare.
I was sick, so I was not allowed to hang out with anybody.
Oh no, camera shy. This one.
Yeah.
This one's good. So tell us once again why you want to be shot in the ass. Because you don't want to
been shot in my ass before.
But you've been through a wood chipper.
I put people through a wood chipper, but I really want to be shot in my ass.
I think it would be great.
It would leave a funny smile on the audience. I think. Like in my butt cheek.
The butt cheek, right
yeah,
here. Rodrigo, what do you think of this? This is Rodrigo Santoro.
Yeah, okay. He's never been shot in the ass.
He actually sounds like exactly like he does in the movie, doesn't he? Like it sounds like
I feel like he's trying to practice his accent.
Yes, exactly. Like that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Like he sounds like he's either really sounds like that, or he's kind of trying to like sort of stay in character to maintain the accent. Because which I get as far as accents, because it seems like when you're already having trouble with it, you're like, okay, I got to keep doing it, otherwise I'm gonna lose it.
Yep. And that all sounded pretty good to me.
His accent. Oh yeah.
Right there.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like not amazing, but like sounded alright.
I actually have a funny little clip from the fine folks at Phantom Entertainment of Peter Stormare on the red carpet premiere. So let's find out what he actually sounds like.
Hot chocolate or hot toddy? It's freezing outside.
Go inside and take a shot of vodka.
I'll meet you in there. Let's go to the bar.
Hot toddy. Hot toddy. What is that? Eggnog?
It's just American, I guess.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't think he's talking enough for me to really tell. I don't know.
It just sounded American. I don't know. The guy's an enigma to me.
Yeah.
It's like I care, but not enough to actually find out, to look up like an actual interview with him. But, you know.
Yeah.
Because there was one, and I was like, no, I don't want to watch that. I'm trying to watch something funny. Plus, I was running out of time. I was like, 25 seconds sounds good to me.
Plus, I just think that, I just feel like most actors are better at imitating English than we are at imitating, than Americans are at imitating any other, language or accent.
Anyway, okay. This next one is obviously from a press junket that they did for the movie, with the clip/question being from Jake's Takes, which is the YouTube page The interviewer is Jake Hamilton, and he asks Arnold and Johnny Knoxville which of Arnold's characters he'd most like to see now, and Arnold pretty much answers without hesitation. So yeah, you can play it. I think I included this part because it's funny to me.
How are you, Sheriff?
Old.
So I love when we meet the sheriff. He has a little bit of a backstory. In fact, his backstory is good. It can make a movie on its own, but we see him a little bit later on in life. He's getting close to retirement. Things are slowing down. What is a classic Arnold character that you would like to see a little bit later on in life? Things have slowed down, just to kind of see how he's handling it.
God, I don't know. I think this is... Oh, wow.
Yes. How do you think he'd be doing at this point, a little bit later on?
That's the whole idea of King Conan. I mean, he's like... retired, and he doesn't want to be king anymore, and he wants to just join the peasants and just be an ordinary guy. And then all of a sudden something happens where he has to get back into action. So it's. I think there's many roles you can play with this when you get to be a little bit more mature, and when you play like the retired guy or all this. It makes it more dramatic in a way because people are concerned. Can you really overcome the obstacles? Can you really fight the way he used to fight, and where he crushed the enemy and see them driven before him and all this kind of things? I think that it is good. The key thing is it's believable. That's always. And then you have some comic relief there, like Johnny, that really spices it up and makes people laugh while they are going through this roller coaster ride.
King Conan actually gets brought up a few times during these interviews, that and the sequels for Twins and Terminator, and it makes me sad that watching Conan the Barbarian made me less excited about that movie happening. I mean, I'm sure it would be better now. It probably wouldn't be as cheesy. It would
be so different.
Yeah, it might be actually be pretty good. Like, it made me curious to watch.
Yeah,
I'm sure the Jason Momoa one's horrible, but like, it made me curious to watch that to get. I'm sure it's more tonally how it would be now than the old one.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. That's true. That one just looked. I don't know. That one just looked boring to me. I just think the Jason Momoa one.
Oh, okay.
Just because he I don't know. The reason you watch Jason Momoa is because he's entertaining. Like, that's what makes Aquaman entertaining.
Yeah,
the movie is garbage, but
he's funny and
he's fun to watch.
Yeah,
yeah.
But if you
so
again, like that Conan character is so stupid. Like, the character, whatever. No, the actual character. Which I was like, man, you fuck up constantly. The only reason you guys actually succeeded in what you were doing was because of Valerius. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's kind of great, though. I like that aspect of it. But anyway,
yeah, totally. But it's just like I don't know. It was. I'm like, why does everyone find him so badass? He's a fuck up. Anyway, okay.
Oh
okay.
yeah, no, I don't know about that. But that was you could tell he's still a professional, by the way, because he's like in the middle of selling one movie, and he's like selling his next movie.
Yeah,
trying to get his next movie made.
By the way, I watched a bunch of these press junket interviews, and holy crap, I kind of get why the actors hate doing them now.
Oh yeah, God, they seem like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. I'm not sure how long they actually have to do it, but it seems like it's pretty much hours of them just doing interviews where they're just asked the same questions over and over again.
I've heard of them being like 2 days straight. Like, you're just
Really?
stuck in a hotel for like 2 days.
Oof.
For 2 like full work days.
Oh, jeez, like 8 hours.
I mean, depending on how big the movie is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was able to start
horrible.
kind of like getting a sense of how far into the day they were, because some of the interviews were Arnold, like there's just some of the interviews where Arnold just seems kind of tired and a bit over it. He's always super professional, like he's never rude,
Mm-hmm.
but it just seems like his enthusiasm has just been drained out of his body. Like it's
Yeah,
always with it sucks because it's always with like these no name, like quote unquote no name media outlets, because I'm assuming that the bigger names get the first crack at interviewing them.
Yeah, of course. They probably get them right in the morning and right after lunch.
Yeah, so it's just like, because one guy like mentions, I think he was like trying to like I can't remember what his last name was, but I think it was like Germany, like German-ish, German type of name.
Got it.
And like, so he was trying to like just relate. He's like, oh yeah, my last name's this, and Arnold's like, oh cool, and like just he's like, come on. It just seemed like he was like, come on, let's.
He didn't have anything to give him.
Yeah, it's like, come on, let's keep going. But anyhow,
Yeah.
let's do one more press style one and then get to the good stuff. So this one is from Red Carpet News and is a press conference for the movie that I believe is in England, but I watched so many of these that I could totally be mixing it up, and I probably am. Like I watched one, there was a Russian one, like there was one from Russia, there was an England, anyway. So the reporter asks Arnold and Jamie Alexander how they feel about the use of CGI in action, and it leads into another pretty good question. So I think it just runs to the end of it.
I like how this screenshot makes it look like everybody is on trial here.
Like a deposition or something like that?
Exactly. All right.
To me, it doesn't matter because it depends what story it is. You know, if you do a Spider-Man story, I mean, I cannot imagine that you could do it without CGI. I think if you do kind of a prehistoric movie or some of those big battle movies, epic movies, you know, you could not produce today 10, 20, or 100,000 warriors. You have to do the CGI. So there's a lot of stuff. I remember even in True Lies, we used a lot of CGI. And in the Terminator movies, we used CGI. So it depends what the story is. I think that the story here with Last Stand, we used very little CGI because, it was just a cornfield in the background that did not cooperate and stay the same color throughout the shooting of the movie. So it started out green and then all of a sudden it turned yellow. So you had to do something with that. And we did use CGI for that. But it was much more a film like Expendables where you use the old-fashioned kind of a way, which is you do the action, you figure it out, you choreograph the action, and you try to deliver as much reality, because in the end people can tell. Mm-hmm. So if you do a movie like that, then you should do it that way. If you do a movie like I said, Spider-Man or Iron Man or Superman or those films, then you got to go and to go the CGI route.
Right. I think when it comes to fight sequences, I don't really appreciate CGI as much when I'm physically doing that, but you take more measures to be safe because you're actually fighting another person, and I think with the CGI again, like if you have creatures and that sort of thing, you have to use the CGI. But like in Last Stand, I really enjoyed that every fight that we all had, we actually did ourselves and had to really make sure that we knew what we were doing, and I don't know. I grew up just loving that kind of stuff. I was on my high school wrestling team, and I just shut up, Johnny. And
was it an all-male wrestling team, and you were?
Did I ask you to say something?
No, but I'm wondering. It helps them.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Was it?
In the beginning, yes. So. But yeah, I enjoy learning all the choreographic, doing all the stunts and that sort of thing. I've never been a dancer, but for some reason, if you give me a sword, I can do it.
I laughed at the beginning because Arnold is talking all serious and he's got a suit on, and then all of a sudden he lifts up his hand to gesticulate with his hand, and he's wearing this gigantic skull ring. Oh. Not just a ring, it's a skull ring on it, like he's the fucking Phantom.
There was something I was watching. I was watching a clip from a video that we've already watched. And I was rewatching it, and I was like, how did I not notice how big his fucking ring is in this? Because he loves rings. I was like, because I was watching this, and I was like, I can't remember which one it was, but I was like, holy shit, that thing is gigantic on his, because he brings up his hand, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, but I'm sure I wouldn't have noticed if it was a skull ring, which I think we did watch, the Jon Stewart brought it up once. He's like, is that a skull?
Yeah. That's what it was.
I'm sure it was the same ring. When he was on The Daily Show. Because he completely halts the conversation just to bring it up.
Just to talk about the ring. Yeah.
Okay,
right.
So this next one, it just seems like it doesn't set it up with a question, but it seems like he sets it up. What is your favorite line that I think they asked everybody that's up, which it just looks like it's Johnny Knoxville, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Jamie Alexander. But your favorite line from an Arnold movie? Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I would say there is not one, but probably several. Like obviously the "I'll be back" line, and or in Commando, the line, I lied, and they dropped the guy, or it's not a tumor, get to the chopper, or when I nailed the guy with the knife through the chest and pinned him on a pole in Predator, and they said, "Stick around." And so there's a classic lines, but the interesting thing is, you never know ahead of time which line is going to make it, because there's a lot of lines in movies, but somehow people themselves will pick the lines and will make them famous. So you never know.
And very quickly, Jamie and Johnny, do you have a favorite Arnold one-liner?
Fuck you, asshole.
I think I said mine, run, get to the chopper.
Yeah, but you did a poor job.
You know
At least
what?
try. Put some effort into it.
Oh my God. Run, get to the chopper.
And on that bombshell.
Okay. It's
nice.
By the way, it's strange how much press this movie seemingly got with when I honestly do not remember much marketing for it. Do you remember marketing for this?
I think I mentioned this earlier. I remember there being a lot of at the time. I remember seeing a lot of trailers for this movie,
like just
but
TV
that was
commercials, or
just like TV commercials.
Okay,
and maybe at the movies because I was going to the movies a lot. But like I do remember seeing the trailer a lot. I don't remember any other marketing. I don't remember seeing billboards. I don't remember seeing like any sort of like I don't know, other press.
they don't really do billboards unless you're in LA, they don't really do billboards for movies anymore, though.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
But yeah, exactly. Like I would say this is okay. So I'd say that maybe this it seems like they did, but this isn't a ton of marketing. I don't know. It's 10 years, 11 years old. So I ended up finding a bunch of stuff once I actually like looked. But like, is this like a lot of stuff? I have no idea. We'd have to do like a Marvel movie basically to compare it. Like to where it's a ton of marketing.
Well, I think what you'd want to compare it to is like another movie of this like budget size or whatever that doesn't have Arnold in it. I feel like this being Arnold's first movie back probably got it some press that it wasn't gonna get.
Yeah, true. And I'd say that maybe the reason it didn't do so, like, sorry, I would say maybe the lack of marketing or whatever is the reason it didn't do so great at the box office, but I'm not entirely sure that's it. Like, because there are at least a few articles that I found that basically were basically saying that Arnold isn't the draw that he was before he took the break. And I think one of the movie producers, Lorenzo di Bonaventura, might have summed it up best, basically admitting in an interview with Collider.com that his kids have seen all of Arnold's movies, but that he's not a continuous enough presence in their lives as like he was when we were watching like his movies. So there's not really a demand or whatever for his movies anymore. So he basically took himself out of the picture, so to speak, and a whole generation kind of grew up without him. So it makes it way more difficult to sell tickets because they're like, why is it? I swear one of them said that, but it was like, why is the governor of California making movies instead of the other way around?
Yeah, wow.
So I can't remember what that was from, but it was one of them saying it.
I don't know. When I saw the trailer, again, my thought was like, I've seen Walking Tall. I don't need this.
That also, I'm sure, didn't help at all. Yes, is it just because of Knoxville?
I think like
in the sheriff thing.
I don't think I would have said that at the. Yeah, I don't think I would have said that at the time, but I do think that had sort of an outsized effect, like subconsciously on.
Yeah,
just like I've seen this movie. I don't need to see this movie again.
Yeah, that makes
But yeah,
sense.
the sheriff thing also. In addition,
also I tried to find a clip to use for Jamie Alexander, and this was the best one that I could find. What we just watched, because everything else was basically like the same boring answers that they all give when they're being interviewed. That like just a regular interview, or her basically being borderline harassed by whichever dickbag she's talking to.
Jesus.
Like the worst one,
great
being her and Arnold on the Breakfast Club, which is with I think it's a morning radio show in LA with Charlemagne the God.
Yeah.
Who makes a quote unquote joke about basically fucking Arnold in his trailer after Arnold compliments her for kicking ass during one of the scenes. So it's basically like, well, come back to my trailer and let me thank you. But like in a sleazier way, because it was like, ugh.
Yeah,
like it was I'm sleazy, but now I'm like not like that kind of stuff. Anyway, which she starts talking, but she does a double take because like she starts to talk, like answer his question before she realizes what he said, and she's like, what the fuck? And then she's like regains her composure and she's like, dude, what? And then just moves on. because this was a long enough time ago to where you can't say, dude, you what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Which is like on the border, I feel like. This is, well, it's a few years before, but like to where they stopped doing that shit.
Yeah.
Because he makes another joke that was cringy as fuck too. Something about like his dick or something like that. And it was, Arnold just ignored, like they both try to ignore it. She was, I think, maybe not as used to it, but like, I don't know. Anyway, but then her appearance on the Tonight Show, I think, was weird, but I couldn't really hear it because the video I found was some dude recording the episode from his phone for some reason. Like he was recording,
literally shooting his TV.
Yes, and every now and then I could, every now and then I couldn't hear because what they were saying over his breathing. So it was really weird. Like that made it even weirder. But Lena was making comments about a dress she wore to the Oscars in 2013. I'm pretty sure that it was for. Like that interview was for the this movie, but it was a dress she wore in 2013 to the Oscars, and if she was wearing underwear underneath it, and it was just fucking weird. And I was surprised it was coming from Leto and not Letterman, because he's fucking a creep. But anyway, it was a very Letterman-esque comment. But anyway, so this last one is the clip I sent you, but I told you not to watch. Did you end up watching it?
No. This will be the first time I watched it. I've heard about it a couple times, but this will be the first time I watched it.
So it's from this year's Oscars and is Arnold and Danny DeVito doing a little onstage banner before presenting an award. So go ahead.
Cool. Nice, huh? Yeah, look at that. It's so beautiful. Look at everybody. Yeah, very nice. Well, Arnold and I are presenting tonight together for a very obvious reason.
We both tried to kill Batman.
Yeah. Well, we both tried. I as the Penguin in Batman Returns.
And I was Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin.
How did Batman beat you?
Oh, he used my one weakness against me.
Heat.
Love.
Oh. He threw me out a window. Yeah, really. Yeah, really.
Batman, that son of a bitch.
Where is he?
Yeah.
He's here.
I hate him.
There he is. He's right here. He's right here. Look.
You have a lot of nerve to show your face around here.
You got,
son of a bitch.
You are a real beak breaker. I'm going to see you after the governor's ball.
You better believe it.
Pal.
Michael Keaton's great. He just sells that.
I love Michael. I was listening to that Fly on the Wall podcast with Dana Carvey and David Spade. They had Michael Keaton on, and he talked about this.
Was he just on there?
He was like just on there. It's like a brand new episode. He talked about doing this little sketch and how it happened, and it was his idea to bring the ascot to look more like Bruce Wayne in the first Batman.
That's great. So he wasn't wearing an ascot the whole night.
No. He only put that on for the sketch.
Good stuff.
I love that. He's great.
Anyway, so that's going to be it for the promo videos. So that's it for the episode.
Nice.
You want to sign us off, I guess.
Yeah, all right, so join us next time when we're going to go over the summary of The Last Stand, and we'll have a pretty special guest that we'll introduce you guys to. Hopefully by then, Joe is feeling better and, can keep his pants on. Anyway.
That's two separate things.
Anyway, as Joe would normally say,
see you at the party, Richter!
If you enjoy our show, please consider giving us a positive review on Apple Podcasts or your podcast app of choice. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Potty Richter to make sure you never miss an episode. See You with the Potty Richter is a production of Tape Deck Media. Follow Tape Deck on Instagram at tapedeck_media or look us up on Facebook for more hilarious podcasts.
This has been a Tape Deck Media production. Thank you for listening.